Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game, and we are returning to Rule the Waves 3, where we've just fought our first missile battle in the Indian Ocean. Great success there. We did manage to heavily damage two battle cruisers from the Brits. Let's actually check what that means for their capital ships. Yeah, pretty much two of them sunk. Only one to go. The Indomitable is still around. But yeah, we've pretty much damaged them pretty heavily, and then we're able to basically butcher their entire fleet there. So let's see whether we can prepare something along these lines. Now, evidently Great Britain is trying to invade Greece, which is interesting, and we are still trying to fight over Djibouti, of course. Let's see whether the French can muster enough forces here. Yeah, we're going to attack the enemy again. It is early morning, it seems. We've got a heavy cruiser down there. We've got three of our carriers and the second battle squadron. Remember, the first battle squadron did take quite a bit of damage, and due to that we basically left them at home, sent them to port, and gotten the second one over here. Right, you can screen, you know what, can you actually support? I think that would be slightly better here. And that is good. Right, so one second battle squadron, one carrier group, and as always, we do need to double check on the search pattern here. That is not the search pattern that I would like to see. We can go with a lot less range here. Normally the game is pretty good at setting up the arcs themselves, but the range here is certainly not really useful. Let's go for heavy combat air patrol, I want to say. And just because I don't know exactly how that works, is let's select all of these guys. And we've now got heavy surface missiles, and that is, I think, something that we should try out. By the way, I also noticed that our torpedo bombs can now carry 2 torpedoes on a heavy loadout and just 1 on a medium loadout here, so that should be pretty interesting too. G is guided, right? Yeah, that's the missile. Right, that's cool. Let's do 2 torpedoes on you guys. We've got a couple of light jet fighters that can do escort missions. But I suppose you could also try to do some heavy bombing runs here. And let's try to do that too. This time around, I'm not going to forget to select naval here. And we are going to ready this strike and see what is going to happen. I should have gotten these guys here to actually be something different. But I think it's alright. Let's see how these dive bombers are going to do with their missiles. And without further ado, hit the next turn button here. And are we actually on heavy combat air patrol? Yeah, we are, and I think that's a good idea, given Aden is just over here, and that is a bit of an issue. There's no specific goal here, so I'm just gonna assume that we're gonna find the enemy soon and gonna battle with them. And I don't think they have that many heavy capital ships. Okay, they are over here. We don't know what precisely they are, and we've got Iwate here. You're the ones with the heavy, with the 8-inch guns here. Okay, let's have you sail there pretty fast. You guys are also going to sail here pretty fast. You guys can... No, sorry, that's the... Oh, by the way, notice the jet fighters here. They've got a very lovely animation there. Right, you guys can also go slightly to the side here. Right, there's an early morning glare here, which is good because that should mean that we have the sun on our side. Although in this day and age, that's not going to be quite as relevant. There's a report here, apparently from carriers. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to believe that, but it might very well be the case. Our vision range is kind of okay, so I'm actually going to ask these guys to be a little bit faster, not just -2. There is the first sighting of a light cruiser, it seems. Could also be smaller ships even. I'm very tempted to see whether we can find anything down here. They do call that a battleship. I don't quite believe that that's the case, but it might be a battle cruiser. It might be that. Okay, let's try to find out what it is before we're sending out any aircraft here. If it is the last battle cruiser, then I think we want to probably try to take it out in different fashions. But I also want to find out whether that... Okay, there are reports about carriers here. I think it's stupid not to try to strike them. So let's pick these guys. Range 34 4 miles, so yeah, definitively. Let's select the ready guys. That's such a long time. Why though? Oh, we've got the Chicago down here. No, I don't think I want her in. That's not the big issue here, is it? Why is that so bad? Strike exceeds stack load. Oh, that's why. That makes a certain amount of sense. Oh, because I did select you. Okay. Okay, let's do coordinated strike by carrier. And I think that might be a good choice here. Yeah, it's around 20 minutes. That's fine. And I did forget to pick carriers as the main target here. Let's do it anyway now. Okay, that's fine. And then these light jet fighters down here, who I actually wanted to simply use for combat air patrol, but you're now bombing. So, you know what? Let's launch that strike too. Okay, fine. There we go. Everyone goes. And we're going to see what's going on here. Okay, we now that this is only a heavy cruiser, 8 8-inch guns, 4 inches of belt armor. This guy, also 4 inches, also 8 8-inch guns. Might come down to secondary guns. They've got, I think, more than us. And I don't really think that's going to be that useful. So we're going to try to withdraw a little bit here. And, you know, I say that. I think what we should actually try to do is fire a salvo here at this guy with all of your missiles. There we go. We can now observe just what that single ship does here. It's going to turn towards her. Yeah, that's fine. She should launch missiles now, and these seem to be missing pretty badly. We are being hit. She's being hit. Not off to a great start here. Really kind of not. Let's try to see whether we can get her with our 7-second salvo. Does not seem to be the case. Right, you guys... You're independent here, actually, aren't you? Yoshino class, you are the AA guys. So, let's have you support the carriers. You do that, right. And then you guys down here... We're going to ask you to go maximum speed here, right into the area where we suspect the enemy carriers are. Although really kind of hoping that we're not going to see what we've seen before, that our aircraft are now attacking the enemy like that. Ooh! Not good. Flash fire here on the turret. 2 of our turrets have burned out. And Iwate has taken very significant damage here on her bow. So she is going to turn around for sure and try to get out of here. While these battleships are now finally opening fire on the heavy cruiser there. And while she's being hit here, I'm going to fire another salvo here because I don't want her to be lost. So we're going to fire all of our missiles here from our battleship, hoping that she has a bit of better fire control. You can see the missiles in the air there. 4 of them flying over there. Doesn't seem like we scored a hit here, but we did score a hit with 14-inch guns. And that is certainly worth something as well. But Iwate here is taking too much damage. Way too much damage for my liking. But there we go. 14-inch guns are doing their thing. And we are finally seeing an air battle here. Light jet fighters are attacking 2 of their combat air patrol. They also have light jet fighters. They're damaging one of ours. We're shooting down one of theirs. More gun hits here. Seems like the naval air attack there was not that great. But okay, I suppose. We are scoring hits here on them now, and seems to be doing fine here. She's actually hit by a missile. That must be one of our air groups, right? Yeah, so 3 dive bombers are attacking an enemy carrier. I'm not sure how you can mistake this for a carrier, but we are tagging it. And there is combat air patrol happening, and it is damaging our aircraft, which is not good because we've got the elite training, which we already were struggling to implement correctly. You don't have torpedoes, that's nice to see. So I don't need to be too concerned here. Yeah. But so far our air, again, not being decisive really, but at least doing something. But really it is our capital ships here that are really trashing them. Really don't see much air involvement here. 3 torpedo bombers are attacking this ship here, which they think is a heavy cruiser. But at least I can see that. Not really good AA, but let's see whether the torpedoes are going to do anything. Doesn't seem like it. They were just way too maneuverable down there, I believe. But yeah, at least, no. A missile hit and a torpedo hit here, good. Okay, the big question is, are these guys going to draw the fire of all of our aircraft now? If yes, and it seems a little bit like that, that would be a humongous waste of ammunition. Well, that seems to be exactly what is happening here. Unsighted is hit by a missile. Okay, so some ships down here are at least hit by a missile too. We don't know the type even. Oh, but we do know that they are attacking us too. And here's one thing that I really should have done. And that is ask you guys to provide combat air patrol to our battleships. And I didn't do that. And now we are a little bit screwed. So there are 6 dive bombers, which potentially might have missiles. Okay, never seen that event. Right, so Zero has sunk an enemy submarine. Interesting. Okay, 2 of our friendly aircraft are attacking some of theirs. Seems like we're shooting down 1. That's good. Still, there are 4 around, so another one being shot down there. And seems like they don't have enemy, they don't have air missiles yet, because otherwise I'm pretty sure. Nope, they do. They do, and they launch at a very long distance here. 24 miles. Mikasha's missile tubes are reloaded here. And Chakaku has missiles incoming. There's a near miss. And 1 overflies us. So we are a little bit lucky here. They didn't score a hit. Remember, we do have some medium AA guns that could potentially do a little bit. Notice we are shooting some torpedoes here against the cruisers. Not sure I really fancy that, to be honest. Well, it seems to be what you're doing. Well, let's see whether we can find further enemies down here. And honestly, you guys can just like for 10 minutes hold your fire here. Because I'm pretty sure that they're not going to survive 5 torpedoes. They are proper dead. Some torpedoes attacking on an enemy light carrier. Seems like none of them bit. More air battles here. Pretty heavy air battles at this point. But I don't see any ships. Oh, there we go. There's 1 enemy ship here, which very well could be a light cruiser. Light carrier. Why do I always say cruiser? Something about the CV. Enemy are approaching us. Sure, do pick up some survivors. We're friendly. Okay, more and more radar contacts down here now. Let's try to get our battleships into that direction and pin them off against the coast here. Enemy aircraft are approaching, but hopefully only very few. And the moment that we are seeing them down here, we should prevent them from launching their aircraft. Probably our aircraft are arriving back in on our aircraft carriers now. No hits yet. Oh, I say that, and there's the first 14-inch hit. And we know a little bit about them. 100 aircraft. This is not a light aircraft carrier. This is not a light aircraft carrier at all. France has three aircraft carriers, and the Rochambeau is by far the largest, with by far the most planes. So that, my friends, is very lucky. And I think I was commenting on how, somewhat surprisingly, you can really engage enemy aircraft carriers, not quite reliably, but you can definitely engage them with battleships. Now granted, we also had carriers in this engagement, right? So it's not too surprising in that regard, maybe. Okay, you know what? I appreciate that you're attacking the Sphinx there, but can we just like focus on what is evidently the proper target here? Also, she is being damaged to a degree that I think with that heavy damage and being on fire, I think she might be evidently in quite a bit of trouble. And there is, of course, the chance that we are going to ignite aircraft that are stationed on her deck or something like that. The graphics don't necessarily represent that, they just have that enabled. Oh, but I think what we could do is let's fire a salvo here off the Ishikama for missiles, because I want to find out how good they are against carriers. They are pretty big targets, so we should hit them pretty nicely, and indeed we do. And indeed she is now on fire, so that bit is pretty good. Let's turn around like that. I guess we can dial down the speed a little bit. Don't think we've seen any reports from further to the south, so let's see whether we can find stuff further to the north here. And hopefully score some hits against them so that we are pretty sure that they are going to go down. Well, you know what? What we're going to do is take the Minakaze class, because you are a little bit older. You're not, but you know what? That's fine. Your formation is going to be line ahead. You're going to go relatively slow and come pretty close to this ship. And then hopefully send off some torpedoes her way. Yeah, she's completely stopped now, which means you guys can stop firing here for 10 minutes. There we go, some torpedoes being launched. That should hopefully do pretty well. Just a single hit here, although there are some more being launched there. Okay, let's do another pass here with these guys. You guys are coming towards Djibouti itself, which is where we supposedly do have some stuff being active. We're absolutely torching there. But again, I think some holding fire here is going to be warranted. You guys, come on. Fewer dots, please. Please and thank you. Come on, come on, come on. Is she sinking? She probably is. She very likely is. But likely is not good enough, I think. Let's try to do a super close run. I think she's going to lose sight of the battleships very soon here. And at that point, she will probably turn around. Ooh, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus. Notice this over here. We're so close to them that we are actually hitting them multiple times with a single gun here in a single round. She's completely toast. Russian boat. Okay, that's down here. That's super nice. Yeah, good. Okay, now you're out of sight. You're probably hopefully going to come home. But I think you've done your job down here. And notice the amount of smoke that is bellowing from this ship. It's actually covering a significant part of the screen here. Okay, guys, can you go to more like that direction? And maybe not completely lose track of what's going on here. That ship up here, I'm not sure what she is. Transport ship. Interesting. Right, but I suppose everyone else has basically made it back to port. I don't expect that they would be left in this vicinity. I think this amount of smoke here is causing performance issues because she's so heavily on fire. And having performance issues in this game, I mean, that really tells you something. Sphinx class being hit by no less than 3 torpedoes. Some hits there being scored on the transport. I'm slightly concerned about land-based aircraft. But so far nothing too bad has seemed to happen. Although I do see some Osprey recons. What would they be doing, huh? Okay, at least she has gone down. That means our performance is going to increase a lot. Unknown radar contacts where? Didn't see that. Over here? Okay, yeah, well, fine. Let's try to investigate. That transport ship is being hit, but I think she's going down. Okay, yeah, there is a ship. Probably just another transport ship. But who knows? Might be another carrier. AMC. Looks more like a transport ship, to be honest. Somewhat surprisingly, we're not seeing any land installations. Yeah, she is a merchant. Let's try to sink her. Wouldn't mind using some capital guns here. Give our second battle squadron some more experience. I think that's a good idea. Right, she's going down. Yeah, she's going down. No. We don't want to run hours here. I very, very rarely find myself hitting that button. That's just way too scary. Yeah, let's pick up some guys. Okay, let's see whether there's going to be another strike down here. Let's auto select everyone except for the Shikaku. Not going to do coordinated strike. We're just going to send everyone down there. Yeah, it's just way too late. Let's just launch the strike. Also, I suppose these dive bombers here. Can you go to missiles? Probably not. No, we only have 7 missiles left. So you're going to go heavy bombs. You can go that. The escort fighters, yeah, we're going to keep some escorts around. Medium, again, probably at least heavy. Medium, let's go to least heavy. And the torpedoes are fine, actually. Let's go to torpedoes. And let's launch the strike. We're going to say no to coordination. We're just going to set everyone down there. Including, please, the battleships. If you can get down there, and there is something there, then I do want to find it. Enemy aircraft are approaching us now. But I don't see too many. No, there are 2 patrol boats there. Probably land-based. Yakuzi is being missed by missiles here. And that's always a little bit of a dangerous situation if you don't know who's going to be struck there. Also, I don't see any aircrafts going that way down there. And yes, it's true that they are going a little bit into the wind, so maybe I should have anticipated that. But on the other hand, you know, the two that we sunk down here, I don't think they went really into the wind there. Yeah, there's more land-based medium bombers that are being hit here. But they're doing normal... No, they're doing torpedo bombing runs there. Which is interesting. Okay, there's finally the first strike package. Remember, these guys were all not prepared because I was a little bit lazy there. We don't know whether we're going to find them still, but we are going to send them in piecemeal. If there's anything down there, hopefully they are going to find it. It would be very lovely to sink more aircraft carriers. I don't think we have sunk that many. Right, we've once sunk in an opening strike against the British. But since then, I don't think we've seen that. Yeah, but no indication of the enemy carriers here. Maybe we can go down a little bit further to the south here. Yeah, but no strike. No strike whatsoever. Too unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. They might be going this way. Oh, notice that. Now we are finally seeing someone attacking here. All the way up here, you say? Huh. Well, if that's the case, then we're going to double back. She's being hit by 2 torpedoes. She's at least going to be slowed down. 3 torpedoes, I think she's going to get down, in fact. They have no ships left. They lost a carrier. They lost 2 2 light carriers. A heavy cruiser, a light cruiser, 2 auxiliaries, a couple of land-based installations that were untouched, and a submarine here. Again, super bad. We only had 1 medium damage here, and that is pretty significant. Most of our losses were due to air-to-air. Most of their losses were lost on the ships, as you would expect. 170 aircraft lost on their side, 11 on ours. And they lost more in the air than we did. They do have still some normal fighters, but notice just how heavy they go on the heavy jet fighters here. Now I want to find out a little bit about their carriers here. So, this guy. What was the first indication for you of a problem? A medium missile hit. I think that was from the air. Yeah, that was from a torpedo bomber, which did destroy at least a couple of secondary guns and caused quite a bit of flooding, which meant you detached actually, and some fire. Ultimately, you managed to get that flooding under control, but only just like a couple of minutes later, you couldn't launch anymore, and then the 14-inch hits started to come in. Yeah, and ultimately, you're just being mauled here. Sphinx, how about you? What was your first problem? You did shoot someone down, then another one, but for you it was the 14-inch hit that was really a problem. Yeah, and then some flooding. Yep, yeah. This guy, on the other hand, I think you were only hit by missiles and torpedoes. So, torpedo bomber hit turret G. What kind of turret was that? 5-inch gun. Not even dual purpose, interestingly enough. And then you were basically consumed by fires. Well, not quite. You did manage to control them. But it was spreading. Finally, you're getting it under control. After, well, about a minute. No, that must be hours, right? Yeah, so after nearly an hour you got it under control, and then came the torpedo hits. The first one damaged your rudder, and from then on it was just super bad. Rudder you managed to get free, But that was about it. The submarine, I find that to be a little bit funny, but okay. Yep, and then we've got all of our ships. No damage here, with the big exception of Iwate. What was the problem here? 8-inch turret hit, turret top, flash fire, 2 turrets burned out. Yep. Yeah, well, can't always avoid that. But I think that was a great victory. Another great victory here, which should hopefully... Ooh, no, that's not good. Missile torpedoes. Rocket-delivered standoff torpedoes from aircraft. Good. Effectiveness of dual-purpose 5-inch guns. Also good. Iceland has been defeated. That's unfortunate. Oh, and Djibouti has been defeated. How can Djibouti have been defeated? We were doing so well. And a mine. Things were going so well for us. And they are planning to attack Greece. Huh. Notice, by the way, that at this point we are pretty much only fighting the British in the Indian Ocean. As you would kind of expect a little bit. They've got 4 aircraft carriers, 6 ones. We should not underestimate the danger that 4 aircraft carriers can pose. They are, of course, also challenged in the Mediterranean, where they don't have an aircraft carrier. Whereas in the Indian Ocean, they do have 4, compared to our 3. Hiruju, from the 2nd Aircraft Carrier Division, is in the Southeast Asian Sea and damaged. Sagami is in the Indian Ocean and damaged. Why though? I thought we were repairing her. Probably just taking longer than expected. Yashima is being rebuilt. By the way, I did make one mistake here. And that is I should have also upgraded her radar to be future ready once we had her in the dock. But I didn't. But I do think that is something that I want to do for you guys here. So this is going to take 4 months. I would love for this to be spacious. But I don't see how we are, where we can save the weight here. We don't have any aircraft. We do have some missiles and such, but honestly, it's not really evident how we could use that. So we're going to keep her normal. And just save and finish that. Yeah, she's going to be put in the dock. Curiously enough, that is actually costing us less. Interesting. Right. That being said, I think now is a good place to put in a cut. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Do let me know your thoughts on this carrier battle, question mark, and what we should be doing next here. Shall we try to save Greece by sailing around? Ah, that seems such a long way. On the other hand, we could invade them now, but without any presence there, I think we'd be hard-pressed. On the other hand, if we do have a presence there and do take Egypt, that would be mighty brilliant, wouldn't it? But what are they going to do with their forces? Shall we concentrate first? Try to attack maybe India first. Base capacity 100, value of 40. Now that is an interesting choice. I think we're going to do that. Well, that being said, hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.